Okay, so this pair of cards is actually really interesting because they go together. The other cards that were released recently, none of these cards really go together, right? Like these cards, they're all just cool cards individually. But this one, Alec Dawson revealing these literally are designed to go together. So let's just jump into it. We have the Reckless Apprentice, a 4-mana 3/5 battlecry. Fire your hero power at all enemies. You might be thinking, why doesn't it just say do like 1 damage to all enemies? Well, 2 reasons. One, there's a card that increases the damage of your hero power by 1. It's a wild card that is returning to standard, if I remember correctly. And the second thing is it synergizes perfectly with this new legendary right here, Mordresh Fire Eye, a 10-mana 10/10 battlecry. If you've dealt 10 damage with your hero power this game, deal 10 damage to all enemies, which is just nuts. Okay, so let's just jump into the star rating and I will explain why they are at that rating. Reckless Apprentice, 4.5. Mordresh the Fire Eye is just a 4. And let me explain. The reason why I think Reckless Apprentice is a 4.5, maybe even a 5, although it's not like as impactful as some other 5s might be. Like I definitely wouldn't say it's as good as Kazakus. But the reason why it's like a 4.5 is because a 4-mana 3/5 that does 1 damage to everything and can definitely help you beat aggro while also developing a board is really strong. Like, not only does it do damage to your opponent, so it can be used in like a kind of burn mage, just a decent minion with a little bit of a ping aspect, but it can also be used in a control mage. And that's probably what the Fire Eye is going to be used in. A more control-based deck that gets to turn 10. The reason why Mordresh is only a 4-star card is because when I say a 5-star card, I mean it's just broken throughout. It'll be usable at any stage of the game. It can be used in a ton of different decks, and it's super high impact, or at least pretty high impact. The problem with Mordresh is the fact that a lot of the time you won't play it, because if you're playing into an aggro deck or even a mid-range deck, the game will probably be over before turn 10. Also, you need to meet a certain set of requirements before it becomes broken. Like, let's say you don't draw Reckless Apprentice, then this card is going to fall short. And because of that, I think it's like a 3.5 to 4-star out of 5 kind of card. Because of the fact that it has low lows, even though it has insanely high game-ending levels of high. And, I don't know, I think that the card is balanced. And I like that. I like cards that are broken, but require some sort of deck design to make it work. It's the reason why I wasn't that upset with a lot of the old gods, right? Like N'Zoth and Yogg, because even though, or Yogg-Saron, or Yashiraj, sorry. All those cards are very strong with very good abilities, but they're actually fairly niche in the decks that they can be used in. And when you do see them played, you know that it's because they did a lot of things leading up to that, right? Like Yogg-Saron, Yashiraj, I guess, is a good example of this. I have an OTK deck that uses Yashiraj in Quest Shaman, where basically you double activate his battle cry and you can win the game. And that sounds broken, but in order to do that, not only do I have to play the corrupt cards that deal damage, but I have to set up for the combo by playing Tour Guide the turn before, and then I can play Yashiraj and win the game off of that. And it's a similar thing with this Fire Icon card. It can be game winning, but at the same time, it'll require a lot of setup, and I think it's pretty balanced. I enjoy this card. I think it's a pretty well-designed card with maybe a bit of an over-tuned ability, I will admit, but it'll definitely be fine. I mean, we're losing Pyroblast, right? But we're getting this, which is essentially like a Pyroblast, but to everything on the board. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm excited for these cards. I'm excited to see where Mage goes. I'm glad to see Mage getting some love, considering it, along with Hunter, lost the most in the core expansion, in my opinion. I think that they both lost a ton of really important cards that defined the two classes. So the fact that these classes, or at least Mage, is getting some really cool, well-designed, kind of unique cards is really fun to me, and I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, which will be in like an hour when the next cards get released.